welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, thanks for stopping by. And for all those who have consistently stopped by, I would, again, really like to thank you. Today I want to do something that could be a mass make. I'm thinking it would be a mass make because it's not the idea isn't that complicated, and I think we all have like Christmas cards hanging around, either from previous years, or I bought some of these at Dollar Tree, some of them at Dollarama, some of them at the thrift store. I got a whole great big package of them recently at the thrift store, and that's kind of where this idea came from. But I think it would be really fun to take Christmas cards and turn them into little mini junk journals. I also got these from Dollarama. They're, let me grab my ruler. They are about 4 inches. It's probably written on here somewhere, but you know, that would be like the easy way to figure out. Yeah, they're about 4 by 4, and those would be really super fun to use. They're not very heavy weight. Sorry for that noise if you don't like that sound. And this package has 24 cards in it and was $2.50. So that's, plus then you have little baby envelopes left over. I think you have baby envelopes. No, maybe not. Okay, that to me, that seems like way more than 24. Okay, because there are baby envelopes. Look, baby envelopes. So you could make them into a junk journal and probably fit them in the envelope when you're done too. So let's use these because they're such a stinking fun size to use. And they're so cute. I think these are so cute. These would make like great little teacher gifts. Don't you think those would make like great little teacher gifts? The most complicated part of this is going to be putting together a signature. But if you are like I am, you have paper in all over everywhere, on your desk, in bins, I don't know, everywhere. I have paper everywhere. So I'm going to clean off some of these. I'm going to keep those because those go with those. I'm going to clean off these and then just pull some papers. If you're using a standard, like this is just an 8.5 by 11. If you're using an A4 and you're making something really small, like this one, I would just, like, without consideration, just fold it in half or cut it in half and then trim it down to size once you have done that. You might be able to, depending upon what you're making, like if you're using a regular size card about like that, even cut in half, is going to be about right. So it will depend upon your card size, what you do. I now have a very large stack of paper of assorted types. So I have coffee dyed paper, I have just some stuff from a little book I got at a thrift store, I have brown wrapping paper, I have some coffee dyed vellum, other wrapping paper. This came from a bank thing, just like random, and then I coffee dyed it. But there are blank page spots that would make good pages, more ledger paper, other ledger paper. So what I would do from here is I would just determine how many little of these that you want to make. This thing had 24 in it, but I don't know that I would mass make 24 necessarily, but you could definitely do like 8. So I would, from here, just fold 8 little things and start sticking together papers randomly in an order that you kind of like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I would probably make sure that you had a similar kind of page in each one of the little books that you're making. I mean, you don't have to. You can do it however you want and use, like, whatever. I also wouldn't necessarily put all the little pages in the same order in all the little books, but this is how I start when I'm making a signature, is I just pull paper, put it in, like, think of this as if you were building a journal and your journal had 8 signatures. Not that I would do a journal with 8 signatures, but I would do a journal with 5, for sure. Always do a journal with 5. But this is how I would put it together, is I would just start by creating what would be random signatures and sticking pages in it, and then sorting out how I wanted the pages from there. So I'll speed this up so that it's, you know, sped up. Okay, so that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages per little booklet. You could do more, definitely you could do more, but if you're doing this as a mass make, you want to keep it a little bit smaller. I would say that took me maybe half an hour to put together 8 little tiny signatures. From here, I know a lot of people are intimidated by making, by doing signatures, but this is really beginner friendly. So if you have never done a signature before, it is not that difficult. Excuse my arm. All you need is a needle. Crewel needle is fine. Basically any needle. I'm using waxed linen thread. You can use embroidery cotton. You can sew these on a sewing machine. If you sew these on a sewing machine, get some paper clips. You can pick them up at Dollar Tree. You can pick them up at an office supply store. You can find them at a thrift store, and paper clip here and here, and just sew. Boom, done. That easy. That would be your 100%, your easiest way to do it, if you're not intimidated by a sewing machine. I'm not. I could sew these. It would be, like, seriously, the easiest way you could do it is just, boom, done. 10 minutes, you have 8 little books. If you're doing it with thread, use approximately 2.5 times the height of your signature. 3 will give you lots of wiggle room. You do not need to measure at all. You don't need to paper clip unless you want a little bit more, like if you're new at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't. Paper clip here and here. I will show you how. Just one sec. I have to actually, I have paper clips. They're the size that I use for like my big junk journals, but they will give you the idea. You put a paper clip on this side, paper clip on this side. Boom. That's it. Make sure that your little bit of paper are nice and snug down at the bottom. Push your needle through approximately in the middle. I will show you how to do it with an awl, but you can do this with your needle. Do all 3 holes from the inside first before you try to, if you're only using a needle. I'm not suggesting you go out and buy equipment if you're doing this as little gifts and you're new at journaling or making these little things and you are like, I don't want to invest in supplies. You don't need to. All you need is a needle that you can pick up at, you may have one, just use whatever you've got for a needle. If you're using an awl, it will work the same way. Measure approximately the middle, push it through like this, kind of pinch it so that it'll come out in the center of that. It is a small bit easier with an awl because an awl has much pointier tip to it. Approximately 1/2 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch, even an inch from the top. Do the same thing, and then from the bottom, the same thing. And it's easier if you pinch it when you come out because it'll come out dead center of that card, or pretty close to dead center. Take your sewing needle, go down the middle hole, pull it out, leave a tail approximately this long. Maybe 3 inches, 2.5 inches, something like that. From the outside, either top and bottom, come with your needle out in that hole that you created. Go all the way to the bottom hole and come out go towards the outside. This tail may get shorter as you go. Don't worry about it, it's fine. When you come up in the center one, make sure when you come up in the center one, this is your hardest part. Make sure when you come up in the center that you see how that both this thread and the needle are on the same side. Make sure your needle goes on the other side so that you've got your tail on one side and your other tail on the other side, so that you've got one tail on either side. I now have a longer tail on one side, so I'm just going to pull it so that both tails are approximately the same length. Make sure that you don't split this, whichever one went in first. Make sure when you bring your needle up that it doesn't go through the center of the cord, because you can't pull it tight, for one thing, and it compromises the integrity of your thread. But it's like really easy to make sure that you don't do that. Pull it tight. You don't have to worry about holding it. It's waxed. It's going to stay in place. You see that it's not moving at all. No matter how much you wiggle it, it doesn't move. So you don't have to go like this and try to just go like this. Pull it tight. Do a double knot, which is left over, right, and under. Pull tight. And then right over, left, and under. Pull tight. That's it. You're done. You have now made one little journal. Now, if you're like, oh my gosh, look, that's like uneven and sticking out and I don't like that, then if you have an X-Acto knife, just come in here at the top of your little card and trim off all these little edgy bits like this. Making a mess on your desk as you do it, because that makes it more fun. You can also use a pair of scissors if you're like, well, that didn't work, because it might not, but there, you have made one little baby junk journal to give to your kid's teacher, your friend. You might want to dress it up a little if you're giving it to a friend, or you know, hostess gift, and it's made out of a Christmas card. So let's just sew some signatures in. I will speed this part up too. So in about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, that's 8 little, these are 4x4. You can get these at Dollarama, but that gives you an idea of something really fast that you could do. These are really beginner friendly. If you don't want to figure out how to do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, just sew the signature in with a sewing machine if you're confident with your sewing machine. But I hope that gives you some ideas of things that you could do as hostess gifts, or for your kids' teachers, and really beginner friendly. You could make them fancier by putting tuck spots in them. Yeah, I hope that just gives you some ideas of things that you could do. Until next time, have a really lovely crafty day. Bye!